"You're late, human." Late for his arrival. The words echoed through the chamber with ceremonial weight. "Welcome to Humanity Rising Tales. Please subscribe to the channel. Your one click truly means the world to us." Dr. Ethan Ward was precisely 3 minutes late. It was a meaningless fraction of time, insignificant for a routine diplomatic briefing. And yet, as he hurried through the immaculate, glass-bright corridors of Astrali Station, his translation module thudding softly against his hip, the delay felt heavy. As if the universe itself had noticed, he reviewed the assignment again in his mind. Report to the Karate diplomatic compound. Urgent, formal attire required. That was it. No explanation. No context. In 8 months on this remote outpost, Ethan had grown used to vague summons. Usually they meant mediating trade terminology or smoothing over some accidental insult involving posture, eye contact, or the improper use of a ceremonial fork. He was a linguist, a bridge builder across evolutionary and cultural chasms. Lately, the work had been painfully dull, but the karate compound was never dull. It rose from the station, like a living organism grown rather than constructed. Flowing arches curved like branches, walls shimmered with organic textures, and bioluminescent veins pulsed gently through the structure, forming patterns Ethan knew carried deep cultural meaning he still hadn't fully decoded. He had spent 2 years studying the karate, their elegant humanoid physiology, their rigid clan hierarchy, their obsession with lineage and destiny. Just 3 weeks earlier, he had submitted a dense academic paper analyzing how their language encoded prophecy and temporal possibility, the sort of scholarly minutiae destined to gather dust in academic archives. As he entered, silence greeted him. The compound was wrong. The halls, normally alive with aides and dignitaries, stood empty. No footsteps, no murmurs, just the quiet hum of living architecture. A flicker of unease crept in. Ethan reached the main reception chamber, expecting a secretary. Instead, he found Lord Kaivan. The karate noble stood tall, draped in deep violet ceremonial robes, threaded with silver, the mark of supreme leadership. His skin markings pulsed in complex, shifting patterns that Ethan's limited fluency translated as disapproval layered with expectation. "You are late, human," Kaivan said, his voice melodic yet cold. "I apologize," Ethan began. A dismissive gesture cut him off. "You are here now. That is sufficient. The clans are assembled. The prophecy is clear. You will fulfill your role." Before Ethan could ask what prophecy, Kaivan turned and threw open the ceremonial doors. The sight beyond stole the breath from Ethan's lungs. The grand chamber stretched vast and cathedral-like, shaped from towering stylized trees woven with filtered starlight. But it wasn't the architecture that froze him. It was the people. Dozens of karate women stood arranged in a perfect semicircle, each wearing the embroidered robes of her clan. Symbols flashed: silver moon, crimson blade, dawn tree. Starweaver, ancient rivals whose feuds had shaped karate history for centuries. Yet now, their markings pulsed in terrifying synchronization. Shared intent, shared desperation. Ethan recognized faces: Sarah of the Silver Moon, renowned scholar; Shalara of the Crimson Blade, legendary commander; Lady Vina of the Starweaver. All eyes locked onto him. The collective weight of their gaze felt like gravity. "Dr. Ethan Ward," Kaivan announced. "You are the voice from the outer world. Choose wisely. The future of our people rests upon your decision." Ethan stepped forward, heart pounding. "I think there's been a misunderstanding," he said carefully. "I'm only a translator." "There is no mistake," Kaivan replied. "Your paper demonstrated understanding of the speech of time and possibility. You are the one foretold." The truth hit him like vacuum. Exposure. His dry linguistic analysis, his academic Dissection of verb tenses had been interpreted as divine insight. They explained a crisis. Contact with other species and rapid modernization were fracturing the ancient clan system. Old rivalries resurfaced. Alliances crumbled. Civil war loomed. The prophecy demanded that an outsider choose one woman, one clan, to rule the others and force unity through elevated authority. We are deadlocked by history, Shalara said, her warrior's gaze unwavering. We need an outsider to break the cycle. The trap snapped shut. Refuse and insult their culture, condemning them to war. Choose and ignite 46 new enemies. I need until morning, Ethan said tightly, to consider. That night blurred into holograms and ancient texts. Ethan tore into the prophecy not as a mystic, but as a scientist. Syntax, verb roots, grammatical structures long eroded by time, entire civilizations balanced on a sentence. And then he found it, a flaw. Or rather, an opportunity. At dawn, the chamber stood silent again. The women looked exhausted. Their bioluminescence dimmed but steady. The time has come, Khyven said. Make your choice. Ethan inhaled. I choose. No one. Chaos erupted. Markings flared crimson and gold. You reject the prophecy? Khyven roared. No, Ethan shouted, projecting the ancient text into the air. I reject your translation. He highlighted a glyph. This verb doesn't only mean to select. In old karate, it also means to recognize or to reveal. Another symbol glowed, and this phrase, the guiding hand, is grammatically ambiguous. Singular or plural. Silence fell. Sarah leaned forward, scholarly curiosity igniting. The unity forged from division. You believe it demands dominance, Ethan continued. But dominance breeds resentment. True unity is forged when division itself becomes the tool. I propose a united council. All 47 clans. Equal representation. No ruler. Only shared rule. Debate exploded. Tradition clashed with survival. Khyven called it blasphemy. Shalara called it strategy. If we adapt, she said, we live. Hours later, a compromise formed. The council would be attempted as an experiment. Ethan would serve not as king, but as advisor. The early days were chaos. 47. Rivals arguing over who spoke first. When they demanded Ethan impose rules, he refused. The prophecy says I show the path, he told them. Not that I walk it for you. Slowly, painfully, they built consensus. The first true victory came when the Crimson Blade and Silver Moon clans abandoned the brink of war over an asteroid and agreed to joint mining operations. Shared profit, shared survival. 18 months later, the compound garden was peaceful. Children from rival clans played together, markings flashing with uninhibited joy. A delegation from the Venex, another rigid civilization, had arrived, asking how the karate had transformed without losing themselves. Do you believe you were truly the prophesied voice? Sarah asked softly. Ethan watched the alien sunset, paint the sky in violet. Fire. I think I was just a linguist who asked the questions you were too close to ask. Shalara smiled. Or perhaps, she said, the prophecy meant exactly that. The voice speaks what we cannot hear. They hadn't needed a ruler. They had needed to learn how to rule themselves. And Ethan realized he had fulfilled the prophecy perfectly, not by becoming their savior, but by helping them surpass themselves. In stories like this, we see echoes of our own world where the hardest translation is often between who we are and who we must become. Rewrite your destiny. Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more Humanity Rising.